how much these leaders tried to fill their troops with confidence, the inspirational speeches that they needed, because they knew they were heading out in many cases towards death.
Listen, the psychological battle was you almost can argue half of the battle, because, and it is tied to the weather, right? Because you had these troops who were all ready to go, right? A lot of them, they didn't want to sit around anymore. They wanted to get out there. They wanted to get into battle. And all of a sudden, they're told, because a British meteorologist says, the weather isn't good, and Eisenhower say, we're delaying for 24 hours. So think of tens of thousands of troops holed up on these ships on rocky seas, just waiting. And this wasn't waiting for a military exercise. This was waiting for what many of them were told was going to be one of the biggest amphibious assaults in the history of military warfare. They had a sense of what was ahead, even if they didn't know the precise town names and where they were headed. You needed some sort of inspiration. You needed some sort of pep talk. And the types of talks they got from their commanders, the generals, their officers, the lieutenants, the colonels on board their ships and their vessels ranged from the inspiring type of thing that you heard from the Supreme Commander there. You'll be fighting an enemy that is battle-hardened and well-equipped. No illusions, trying to serve them cold reality, what they're going to be facing. Some of them use shock tactics. Not Eisenhower, but one general, one commander had said to his troops, look to your left, look to your right. One of you isn't coming back. One of you is not going to make it through this mission. And in some cases, depending on which beach you landed, you had casualty rates of upwards of 60 or 70%, like 2/3 of the battalion. That was obviously worst-case scenarios. So whether you use shock tactics or something was needed to psychologically prepare these soldiers. We were talking before about the fact that a lot of them, there was this sheer terror. The natural terror, human nature kicks in, right, of the experience. Yes, there's the adrenaline rush. You get to those cliffs, and then you're sort of stranded there. You sort of freeze. You don't want to even move on. It took a lot of also psychological pep talking from commanders and sometimes just ordinary privates to yell at those soldiers, move on. If you stay here on this beach, you're going to die. You start moving, and if you don't get off this beach, you're dead. Get up onto the bluffs, get up onto the highlands, start moving inland.